Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside and study war no more. I ain't gonna 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 study war no more. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside and study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more, I ain't gonna study war no more, I ain't gonna study war no more. There it is, down by the riverside. Somebody requested that. I don't know if they're here, but hello. Hello, everybody. This is the No Show for Tuesday, the 16th of July. Oh, it was Karen. Karen who requested it. All right. Oh, you said yes. We saved you a piece of cake, Z. You missed number 360. Well, 365 would have been the night before the anniversary show. Weirdly, 366 was the anniversary show, which was 2 nights ago, Sunday night. But you didn't. You know what? You didn't miss it because it's all there. It's all there on YouTube. Hello, Z. You didn't miss them. You didn't miss anything. That's the funny thing about life. There's no way to miss anything. There you go. Thanks, Z. Go back and watch. Hey, Karen, there you are. I just sang Down by the Riverside. Did you catch it? I don't know. But I took your suggestion and I attempted to sing Down by the Riverside. I was just in the bay. Speaking of the river, I was in the bay. As I've told you, I've been counting my strokes to try to build up so I can do this swim for life on September 7th, all butterfly. And oh, Neuro says, I miss buses all the time. The adage that I heard from a friend's grandmother was never run for a bus. There'll always be another bus. Never run for a bus. There will always be another bus, which is true unless it's the last bus of the day. But then there'll be a bus tomorrow. So, oh, Karen, you said it was perfect. That's very kind. I appreciate that. I'm glad you suggested it. It's listed as an African American spiritual. Oh my gosh, there's more lyrics. Let's do those lyrics. I'm gonna join hands with everyone down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna join hands with everyone down by the riverside and study war no more, etc. I ain't gonna study war no more. 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 Gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Is that a new dog in the picture? Jill, good eye. That is a new dog in the picture. That's Miles. It's not our dog. It's a neighbor's dog. He's just a great. He's a really great dog. He is a golden retriever. He's very friendly. A very friendly, cuddly, affectionate, enthusiastic golden retriever. And I might have mentioned that at one point I was swimming when I started doing the winter swims during the pandemic, and I was getting in the water in the bay it was rough and it was cold. And I felt, as I was getting in the water, I felt the presence of a large mammal over my shoulder. And I had the instinct, like, wow, this is scary. I'm getting into the water. I know that these waters in the summer have sharks, but this was probably February, so there's no sharks nearby. And no seals to speak of at that time of year either, I don't think. So I thought, what the hell is this? And then I turned around and I saw it was Miles, the giant golden retriever, who was trying to jump in the water after me. So that's Miles. He's a great dog. Yeah, you can see Miles in the thumbnail for tonight's show. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. Yes, Nuro, you make a good point. Sharks are not mammals; they are fish. Correct. I should have said animal. I had the feeling of a large animal coming at me over my shoulder. Get him to retrieve some bars from Bob's house. I don't get that reference. Wait, who's Bob? What are the bars? Hello, Bella Lune. How's everyone hanging in there? I'm hanging in well. I'm feeling optimistic, honestly, about all the horrible stuff going on in the world. I suddenly hit a little bit of an optimistic streak for all kinds of reasons. Hey, Dave in LA. How you doing? Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes a todos y a todas. Hello, Richard. Hello, Mother. Hello. Hello. I'm just seeing who else is in the house. Hello, Father. I had a crazy thing happen today, which I'm going to discuss. Let's go down by the riverside. Let's talk it over there. It's pleasant over there. It's about the ladder of apologies. Now, when you apologize, it's very important. When you do something wrong, there are several steps in a successful and a complete and a satisfying apology. And that last point is very important. The apology should be satisfying, but it doesn't have to be satisfying for you who is giving the apology. You're giving the apology because you are acknowledging that you did something that you consider to be wrong, that might have hurt somebody else, that might have made them feel bad. The satisfaction in the apology, I think, is owed to the person who's been wronged. Your apology is a gesture, it's an attempt to make them whole in some way, to atone for what you've done wrong, and to lift them up somehow. Because the thing that you did, presumably, makes them feel like they've been put down or crushed or harmed or injured in some way. So the apology is to lift them up. The satisfaction is theirs to be had, if it is to be had, that they are lifted up. Now, there's a whole other element to the apology, which is the desire of the person who's making the apology to feel better, to feel relieved of the burden of knowing that they did something wrong, to unburden themselves, to lighten their load, to lessen their guilt. So when you make an apology, you might look into the eyes of the person to whom you're apologizing for some sort of a sign that they're letting you off the hook. You might listen to their words. You might be hoping to hear them say, "Oh, that's fine. It's okay." Or you might want them to say, "I'm so glad you apologized. It really warms my heart, and I forgive you." That's something you might want to hear them say. But my point here, I'm trying to analyze this objectively. My point is that the apology, not the analogy. The apology in its purest form, the apology, I think, should be divorced from any plan or desire on your part regarding the reaction that it's going to get. In other words, the apology should be stripped of any expectation about how it's going to be received. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're really asking for something. And the apology shouldn't be an ask. The apology is a gift in a way. It's not a request. So if you apologize for something you did and then you 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 wait for a certain look or a word or gesture from the person you've wronged, I don't think that's the highest form of apology. The reason I bring up the latter is because an apology like that is better than no apology. So there's a ladder. Apologies can be ranked on the ladder. The purest and the best apology, and then the worst one. The worst one would be like, hey, I'm sorry that you I'm sorry you were offended. Here's the worst apology. If anyone was offended by anything I said, I'm sorry. That's a terrible apology because not only is it not taking responsibility, it's not even being specific about who's been wronged or if they've been wronged. That if, just the if at the beginning means it's the worst apology. If anyone was offended, I apologize. That's the worst. I think the highest form of an apology is, I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh, that's the other thing. The phrase I apologize is not an apology in my opinion, or at least the phrase I apologize on its own. I think you have to say the words I'm sorry. I am sorry. Because I apologize is a weird sort of distancing of the apology. It's like saying I enjoy reading. I enjoy reading is not the same as reading. I apologize is not the same as apologizing. Kind of linguistically, it doesn't feel like a real apology. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm very sorry. Anyway, now I'm going to explain why this is on my mind today. But first, I'm going to sneeze, and then there's going to be a word from our would-be sponsor, if I had sponsors. That was a late term aborted sneeze. I was about to sneeze and then I didn't. Okay, now a word from Athletic. Athletic, it's so good. This is a really good one. This is my favorite. It's a fake beer. It's called Ripe Pursuit. It's a lemon Radler. And Radler, Radler in German, that's the biker. And that's the drink in Germany. When you mix beer and lemonade, they call it a biker. The idea being you're on a bike ride and you need a beer, but you're not going to have a straight beer. You're going to cut it half with lemonade. All right, so what happened today? There's a guy in town here who, I don't know him well, but he seems to me to be the nicest guy in the whole town. Possibly the nicest guy in the state or in the country or on the planet, honestly. And I know him from the farmer's market. And I saw him today. And circumstances I won't go into in any great detail, but I had Gornamonts with me. Gornamonts was lying here innocently at my feet. But Gornamonts, I let him out of the car when I was doing the chore or the task for the farmer's market that I was there to do. And Gornamonts barked at this guy. I think he might have been scared because the guy had a shovel on him at the time. Anyway, Gornamonts got spooked. And I put Gornamonts in the car. I apologized profusely for his barking because his bark is kind of scary because his Doberman dad. His poodle mom, much more of a gentle bark, but the Doberman dad, kind of scary. Anyway, Gornamonts is harmless. He's never bitten anyone. He's never, he's not a violent dog. He can be a little scary when he gets triggered like that and he starts barking. But So I put him in the car, and then before I was driving off, the guy called me, and I closed the dog in the car, and I got out, and I talked to him, and he said, "Your dog nipped me," and he showed me on his calf. The dog had nipped him on the calf. Thank goodness, did not break the skin, and so I spent the day in a. I felt terrible. I apologized profusely. Then I went and I, I I was trying to figure out how to deal. I said to the guy, "I'll take you to a clinic. I'll do whatever you need." I just felt really bad, and I ended up getting some nice cupcakes for him and his family, and a copy of my book, and a card, etc. And I gave those to him in person. That's why I was thinking about it, because I was going to leave the stuff for him. That would have been an apology in absentia, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make sure he saw who they were from and that I could speak to him. So that was me maybe being a little bit demanding in my apology, but I wanted to make sure he knew they were from me and that it was heartfelt. But then as I was apologizing, I thought I had that feeling like, oh, I'm not really getting the full-on reception for my apology that I had hoped for. I was aware of that. I cut it, I didn't linger there. It was starting to feel a little bit like a Larry David episode, like the more you try to do the right thing and the deeper you step in it. Um, so I think all's okay. He's okay. He's not actually hurt, but it was. Whew. So I had the whole concept of the apology on my mind. Um, but I totally respect. I mean, he was really my idea that he's a very nice guy, which I thought just in passing and from my little interactions, it was reinforced by the fact that even when he had been nipped, um, he then the way he spoke to me about it, it was not in anger, or it was he was frustrated a little bit. He said, dogs love me. I don't know what's with your dog, that your dog, but it wasn't with anger. It was sort of more he was perplexed and maybe a little hurt, like insulted almost. So anyway, I hope he accepts my apology. After all that talk about the apology, wanting the apology to be pure, I definitely hope that he can forget what happened or look past it, because that's the other thing. They say in life, rarely do we remember what someone said to us. We don't remember the words someone said to us, but we definitely remember how they made us feel. And I have found that to be true. Those emotional reactions to people they can really be unforgettable, whereas their words can vaporize. So, maybe for all eternity now, when he sees me, all he'll think is, "Oh, that's the guy whose dog nipped my calf." But maybe at some point, I'm hoping we can move past that. Anyway, that's the story. That's the apology story. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Okay, so studying war. I think that's so. Studying war, in the literal sense, is warfare and the art of war. Sun Tzu, is that his name? The Art of War, or Clausewitz, those people who write about war. But also, studying war in a way is just um, ruminating on an event that went wrong like that, like an event that ended up in conflict, um, perseverating on that, thinking about it. That's in a way studying war on a personal level, just chewing it over and chewing it over. And it's better to kind of let it go. You remember when someone steps on you in a crowd? Yes, that's true. Apology en masse can also be somewhat dubious. Yes, that's right. An apology to a group, a kind of general apology, like casting an apology net over a crowd of people. I apologize while peeling onions. Oh, right. So it's more convincing if you peel an onion while you apologize, if you can make yourself cry. That's a good one. Neuro says, I found it convenient to gather all the people I owed an apology and apologize to the whole bunch. Yeah, that's more efficient, definitely. Oh, it's like a Seinfeld episode. Yeah. Apology by subterfuge. Oh, yeah, the secret apology. Oh, that would be an interesting one, like a secret love letter, only a secret apology, so they don't know who it's from. Someone gets a letter that just says, I'm sorry. Three parts to an apology. Oh, here we go. Belle la Lune with some, this looks like some well thought out theory, the theory of the structure of an apology. Part one, what I did was a lousy thing. Two, I realize I hurt you, it will not happen again. Three, with heart. Right, so it has to be with feeling. Yeah, not like a robot. So what I did was bad. I realize it hurt you and it won't happen again. Oh, so those are the three parts. It was bad. I hurt you. Won't happen again. The won't happen again is kind of, we don't know. We can't tell the future. That was why I thought it would have been a really bad idea to bring the dog to the apology ceremony and then have him chew on the other calf. That would have been really bad. Okay. Yeah, everyone seems to have experience with apologies. Richard asks, Ethan, what do you consume that's not fake? Nothing. Everything I consume is fake. I have the fake meat. I have the fake cheese. I have the fake beer. It's all fake. Ersatz, not ersatz. Ersatz. My dad says, I have been wronged! Exclamation point. That's good. I mean, that's not good, but that's, oh, thank you for the blessings. I'm sorry, please forgive me. That's a good explanation. I mean, apology. I begin with a joke, then apologize in case anyone was offended by the joke. This creates a distraction. That's good. That's the three parts of a joke. Tell the joke, apologize for the joke, and then run while everyone's distracted. Always begin with a joke. That's a good rule of thumb. Smile though your heart is breaking. Smile though la 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 la. That's a good song. I'm gonna smile. I'm thinking of Nat King Cole. The second I start singing that, I hear his voice. Smile though your heart is breaking. Do I know these chords? Can I do this one? I know this is not public domain, so we're going to get in trouble. Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile, though, through your fear and sorrow, smile, and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. This chord. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Well, thank you for suggesting that one, Karen. That's a nice song. And that is, thank you, ultimateguitar.com. That just shows you the chords and wham, you can just pluck your way through it. Nat King Cole. Oh, that's the Charlie Chaplin song, of course. Charlie Chaplin. Smile. Da, 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 da. What a genius. Charlie Chaplin. Can you imagine being able to act and direct movies like that and write movies like that? And then also be able to write a song like that? I guess Mel Brooks is also on that level. He wrote all those amazing songs. I just saw the record. Oh, I think I was going through some LPs here before giving them away, and I think I saved the one. I had the soundtrack to High Anxiety, which was a very funny film in the late 70s, but the theme song, I think written and performed by Mel Brooks. I think about 15 years ago, he also gave a concert where he just performed all the songs that he wrote. A real genius and polymath. Smile. La, da, 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 da. Oh, hey, Roberta D'Aversa. Nice to see you. I made you smile. That's great. That is a beautiful tune. Holy smokes. Apology by form letter. That's funny. Yeah. Or apology by AI apology. All right. Oh, it sounds like a family reunion. That's funny. All those apologies. Yeah, that's a family reunion. Z, okay. Good to see you. Hope to see you again soon. Go get your love and go get it. Oh, Liberace and Kermit both sang. Yes, life is difficult right now. You give us hope. Thanks, Richard. I'm trying. And honestly, I'm having an evening of optimism after a few days of thinking like, holy smokes, we're on the ropes. But I thought we're not really on the ropes because there's a lot of time. There's always a lot of time, but there's a lot of time until November, and then there's a lot of time after November, irregardless of how things go. We can always. Did you like that magic trick? I put the thing down over there. It was empty. And now I brought it back and it's full. Magic. No, I had two. All right, I want to. Yeah, I liked Kermit's singing. That Kermit song is really great. Oh, you know what? That song, "Smile Though Your Heart Is Breaking," since it's Chaplin, maybe "Smile Though Your Heart Is Breaking." Maybe that is public domain because he might have written that in the 20s or the 30s. Chaplin song. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, Chaplin composed the melody "Smile" for Modern Times in 1936. That's not quite old enough for public domain. That's my belief. Is "Smile Though Your Heart Is Breaking" public domain? Public domain? I'm guessing not. Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, it is. It's public domain. Wow. That's a great discovery. Light up your face with gladness. Hide every trace of sadness, although a tear may be ever so near. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Okay, I wanted to mention one other thing tonight, which is Karen pointed out to me. I think it was Karen. I'm pretty sure it was Karen. Yeah. If it's not, I apologize. But Karen pointed out to me that I was singing a false note in the song Goodnight, Irene. And it was bugging her. She said it was bugging her OCD. And I looked it up. She sent me links to many people singing this song. It's a Lead Belly tune, Goodnight, Irene. She sent me links to lots of people singing it, including Eric Clapton, including the Weavers, and Lead Belly. I listened. She's totally right. Then I looked back at the music here, and in fact, I thought, oh, it must have been printed wrong in this book. Nope, it's correct here. So I was singing a false note, and I'm going to show you what it was. Full disclosure. Okay. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene, good night. Irene, night, Irene, I'll see you in my dreams. Listen to the reen. Listen to the note on reen. Good night, Irene, good night. Irene, night, Irene. That's correct. What I was singing was, night, Irene, good night, Irene, night, Irene. I was singing an E, like a passing tone, what they call a passing tone, on the way to that D. Night, Irene, good night, Irene, night, Irene, good night, Irene. Night, Irene versus night, night, Irene, night, 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 Irene, night, Irene, good night, Irene, night, Irene, good night, Irene, good night, Irene, good night, Irene, night, Irene. Anyhow. It goes F, D, D, and I was singing F, E, D. I was hitting this passing tone. It works the way I'm singing it, but it ain't the way it's sung. So I might keep doing it the way I was doing it, but I like the yeah. Thank you. I like the way I was singing it, but she was totally right. It was bugging her ear because she's like, that's not how it goes. So I feel you. I feel you. Oh, I'm going to sing this song to say goodnight. We're up to the goodnight time, and here we go. Last Saturday night I got married. Me and my wife settled down. Now me and my wife are parted. I'm gonna take another walk downtown. Everybody, good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Verse 2. Sometimes I live in the country. Sometimes I live in the town. Sometimes I have a great notion. I'm gonna jump into the river and drown. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Verse 3. Stop rambling, stop your gambling, stop staying out late at night. Go home to your wife and your family. Sit down to the fireside bright. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. All right. right. See you all in our dreams. Everybody sleep well. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow night at 9. Every night at 9, the No Show here on YouTube. Good night.